Hey there guys and gals, and this is not the video I originally wanted to do today. However, this is one of those things, when you see it, you have to make a video about it. At least if you're Back Pocket GameStop reviews. So, today, two of the board members, two shareholders at GameStop have stated that, well, for lack of a better words, if they were sitting at a board meeting, they would move for a vote of no confidence and suggest that they have no faith in Chancellor Valorum's leadership. Essentially, they are going to possibly try and start a overthrow of GameStop's board members. So these two individuals are of two investment groups who invest into GameStop, and they have what they claim has lost faith in the board. They're not making changes that are going to save the company. They're not making changes to revalue the company at what they feel that it is worth. Which is kind of interesting. Keep hearing this value term, but even the company that was interested in buying you didn't feel that you were worth what you think you're worth in terms of GameStop. GameStop is currently buying back shares. They are doing a share buyback to kind of consolidate and make the shares a little more valuable per share. Now, here's where we have a bit of a problem. These two individuals, essentially what they're going to do is go to a board meeting, one of the board meetings, and they are going to start to try to nominate someone on the board to take over. They want a whole new board. They want everything just redone. And that could work if you have a lot of discontent on the board at GameStop. So if you have people that are like, yeah, this company could be managed much better, this company could be getting ran much better, there's a lot more innovations that be getting made, then yes, you could wind up with a whole new GameStop board, ownership, just complete change of hands, but without the company getting bought out, if that makes sense to you. And the interesting part is they talk a little bit about that, and they talk about no strategy has been made or no innovation has been made outside of bringing collectibles and toys in, which, fair enough. And it's interesting to see this all coming right before GameStop supposedly is about to announce that new rental program. If you don't remember me talking about that, we did that last GameStop video. Just go down the GameStop playlist, you'll see that bad boy listed right on there. So, GameStop stock currently is also at an all-time low right now. It's at $10.39 per share as of when I started recording this video. $10.39. That is pretty low. So they have made no bounce back really since the whole drop after finding out the buyback wasn't going to go through. And I do think it's hard because, again, there are a lot of different reasons why GameStop is dying. That video is going to be a part of tomorrow's video now. We'll be making that the topic tomorrow. Why is GameStop doing so rough? Why is GameStop dying off? What are the issues that they're having? And there are a lot of them. But a lot of them aren't necessarily quite as black and white as what you think, and some of them might not be necessarily exactly the reasons that you think. So, I think it's really hard as someone who can sit back, like if I were invested in the company, would I be happy with the way that the company is going? No. Do I think that much can be done to run it better? Yeah, but none of it's going to be easy, and none of it is going to be beneficial for stockholders in the immediate future. So you're going to hurt that stock before you improve it. And that's part of what's hard about being a publicly traded company and trying to restructure and rebrand is you're going to go through some dips in the stock. And that is something that can make board members and stockholders extremely nervous and uncomfortable. So unless they have absolute faith in you, which is almost 100% unlikely because these are very wealthy individuals and they don't like losing money, and if they think for any reason that you're going to cost them even a penny, they will cut your ass off. So that's also kind of the downside of working with people that are obscenely rich. I'm not saying all obscenely rich people are like that, but that is kind of a business mentality. Hey, cut the dead weight before it becomes a problem. But sometimes when you're working in retail, you're going to have to create dead weight to fix it. Unfortunately, GameStop needs pretty much an entire rebrand to fix it in the face of most consumers, which is who you need to fix it for the most. But with that also being said, this could turn out to be a good thing. Maybe the people who do wind up taking over GameStop could end up being, well, more educated in games. Doubt it. Again, this has kind of been a big problem where you literally have most of the people on GameStop's board don't really know anything about games. And I get it. Some of you might go, well, who needs to know something about it to run it as a business? It does help when you understand that market and when you're familiar with that market from a consumer aspect, not just from the creator aspect. So when you have both understandings of a market, you usually can do better. A good example of that would actually be, well, Bill Gates. If you looked at Bill Gates, Microsoft has done very well all throughout its entire history. Well, Bill Gates was a college dropout and he was a relatively vicious businessman. He's also probably one of the biggest humanitarians alive, so it's weird to see how that happens. The dude probably would have cut you to save him from having to buy a Klondike bar, unless you're in a third world country where he'll no offense, Mr. Gates, if I doubt you'll ever see this, but I'm just saying, he was a very smart businessman. But he also understood his industry. He also knew how to program. Crazy how that works, right? So I just think it's very interesting, though, to see that finally some of the investors are so mad to the point of where they're wanting to rise up. And two of them have come together right now. And actually, I screenshotted a couple of the things that they said in the article. Essentially, they're complaining of a stale board, average tenure of 11 years that is not functioning well. The letter said, surveying the last 5 years, we struggled to identify any significant steps the company has been taken besides the introduction of collectibles to adapt to disruptive dynamics in its core business. Core business is games. So to adapt is to essentially say, what other alleys of revenue are we going to explain or explore rather than just games? Because clearly we're losing foothold in the games market, which they are. They're not the end-all be-all of game sales anymore. It is our goal to work constructively with the board to address ongoing value destruction at the company. The letter said, however, if this letter fails to elicit an acceptable response, we are prepared to take our proposals directly to stockholders and nominate directors for election at the company's 2019 annual meeting. This is what makes it an aggressive takeover. The board is literally, and this isn't even like two sides of the stock trying to buy out other stockholders' stocks. This is literally, we are so unhappy with the way that you are running this company, with the way you are wasting our money and the devaluation of our shares, that we're now taking this action. And this is bad news. Like, this is bad. This is not what you want if you are a company. Because it's going to be really hard to imagine that you're not going to walk up to someone and be like, on that board at least. But when you're also saying that that board's been an 11-year plus tenure, I assume they all know each other too. And if you're all on the board, why haven't any of you suggested any other things to fix it in that same amount of time? I get it, it's cool, you're the new dogs on the block and all, but I mean, I don't know if this will necessarily work for them, because this is essentially becoming, you're making yourself an activist investor. And that's kind of a scary thing to some people. Starboard is most notorious for this. They're the company who bought a huge stake in Olive Garden stock and then convinced them to sell Red Lobster and tried to get them to limit their breadsticks. And part of their thing that they used to make fun of Olive Garden was that they don't salt their water before putting the pasta in. Whatevs. But this is just sort of how this kind of thing goes, and it'll be interesting to see how this kind of goes over. I can imagine that some people on the board have to be upset, but if they've mostly been there for 11 years, I mean, most of them have been shitting and just never decided to get off the pot. Hey, you're making me a lot of money. I'm cool with this going down now. I made my money's worth off of GameStop. At this point, they might just be waiting to write it off as a loss. That might be what they're waiting for. I'm going to assume most of the people are pretty wealthy, especially since it's investment groups. So, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Do you think this is good, bad, indifferent? Still just delaying the writing on the wall at this point? Also, if you'd like to follow me anywhere else, links are as always in the description box down below. Also, please, 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 if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. Obviously, right now, thumbs up are very important on YouTube, seeing as that I'm also being told by some people that those aren't tracking. If you place them on iPhone and go to sign in on any other platform, it shows that you didn't thumbs up the video. So, who knows what's going on with YouTube? Hooray! Also, I want to say thank you for Laura for sending me some of the stuff out of her loot box. I don't know if I already shouted her out about that or not. Again, my memory has been kind of mumbo-jumbo because of stuff going on at work and whatnot. We'll have a state of the channel and stuff going up soon. And guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Also, I hear every time you ding that bell, an angel gets its wings. And every time you don't ding that bell, yeah. I'll see you all later, and I'll have plenty more content coming for you. Stick around.